Hello everyone, welcome back to the tutorial again. So this is this DCS2 tutorial, lecture number 4. So you can see in previous sessions we have studied about the types of torsion. So there are two types of torsion, primary and secondary torsion. Further you can see here, that is, so which torsion is to be considered for the design. So primary torsion is to be considered for the design. So secondary torsion, if it is present in a member, we can avoid it or we can neglect it for the design. Next, when the primary torsion is induced in a beam and when the secondary torsion is induced in a member, we are seen with the figures. So these are the figures which I have taken for the example to explain about the uh, primary and secondary torsion. So as per clause number 41 stipulates that in a structure where the torsion is required to maintain equilibrium for primary torsion, so if primary torsion is there, it is to be designed according to 41.2, 41.3 and 41.4 as per clause 41.2. It is critical section determination. So at the depth D, there is a critical section from the at the depth D from the face of the section is a critical section. So shear reinforcement is to be calculated by using this formula, that is you need to calculate equivalent shear, that is VE, and based on that we are going to design it. So again 41.3 and 41.4 is a clause. So you can see reinforcement in a member subjected to torsion. So longitudinal reinforcement should be calculated by using this formula. So I have already explained about this formula, and transverse reinforcement is to be calculated by using this formula. So this is what they have explained, they have said in this clause. Okay, to avoid the torsional cracking, we need to go for clause number 40. So this is a behavior of a section in a torsion. Analysis of a section in a torsion we have seen in a previous session. So approach to design. So as I have said, both longitudinal and transverse reinforcement is to be provided. So longitudinal reinforcement is to be provided by using this particular step, that is 41.4, and 41.4.3 transverse reinforcement is to be provided by using this formula. So further you can see uh, equivalent shear is to be calculated. So that's what I have shown in the formula 41.3.1 and 41.4.2. So similarly this is the formula which is given in 41.3.1. so these are all the things we have studied in previous sessions. So this is a requirement for minimum reinforcement, which table is to be followed for calculation of tau c and tau c max. So longitudinal reinforcement, that is 41.4.2. so it is given over here, it is 41.4.2. the same snapshot I have attached in the presentation. Okay. Sorry, till here we have studied in previous session. Now in today's session we are going to study about, or we are going to discuss about examples on the design of beam when it is subjected to torsion. It is very simple. I am going to move with this example first, later on we will move to that example. So you can see, determine the reinforcement requirement of a ring beam. So it is a curved beam, that means there is some torsion which is induced. So of B, breadth of the beam, small b is equal to 400 mm, small d is equal to 650 mm, capital D is equal to 700 mm. Capital D is equal to total depth, small d is equal to effective depth, mm. And subjected to factored moment, mu is equal to 200 kilonewton. Always remember, factored moment they have given, factored moment, so no need to multiply it with any of the safety factors. So factored torsion, that is 50 kilonewton meter, and factored shear force is equal to 100 kilonewton. Use M20 grade of concrete and Fe415 steel for the design. So these are the values which they have mentioned. So first of all, we'll move step by step. So first step is check for depth of the beam. First of all, we are going to check for depth of the beam, because if any revisions are required, we are going to revise it according to that, and then we are going to proceed with the calculation of reinforcement. So first, check for depth is must and should. So check for depth can be calculated by using this formula, that is VE is equal to equivalent shear VE is equal to VU plus 1.6 TU divided by B. So VU they have given, you can see VU is equal to 100, TU is equal to 50 they have given. So VU is equal to 100, TU is equal to 50 they have given. So remember these are in meters, values are in values we are going to consider in meters. So 0.4 depth I am going to convert and consider it in meters. So it is going to give us the value for VE, it is going to give us 300 kilonewton. Similarly, equivalent shear stress, that is tau VE. So this is equivalent shear we have calculated. So equivalent shear stress can be calculated by using this formula, VE divided by D into D. So always remember this small d is effective depth, that is 0.65. So VE is equal to 300 divided by 0.4 into 0.65 is equal to 1.154 Newton per mm square. So shear stress tau VE is equal to 1.154 Newton per mm square we have got. As per what is the clause, this tau VE should be less than tau C max. So this tau V equivalent shear stress should be less than tau C max, then we say that section is satisfied, means depth of the section is sufficient. So tau V E already we have calculated, that is equivalent shear stress. Tau C max, how to calculate tau C max? Tau C max can be calculated by using table number 20 from IS 456. So you can see here table number 20. I'll just show you the table number 20 from IS 456. You can see table number 20, maximum shear stress, that is tau C max. So always remember equivalent shear stress should not be more than maximum shear stress, that is tau C max. So tau C max is depending upon grade of the concrete. So grade of the concrete they have mentioned is M20 grade. So based on that M20 grade, maximum shear stress allowed is 2.8. So it is 2.8 Newton per mm square. Hence section do not need any revision. That means depth of the section is satisfying. If tau VE is greater than tau C max, then we need to revise the section, means we need to increase the depth of the section, and then again we have to try. Finally, whenever this tau VE is less than tau C max, then we have to stop revising that section and we have to proceed further. But here in this case, depth of the section which we have provided is sufficient. How I am saying it as a sufficient? Because tau VE is less than tau C max. Okay, next. Check for shear reinforcement requirement. Assuming the percentage of tension steel as 0.5. So we have to assume the percentage of tension steel as a 0.5. So from table number 19 we need to calculate tau C. So remember this tau C should be less than tau VE, and this tau VE should be less than tau C max. So these three conditions should be satisfied. So whenever these three conditions satisfied, we are going to provide with the longitudinal as well as transverse reinforcement. So you can see from table number 19 I can calculate tau C. So what is table number 19 says? Table number 19, calculation of tau C, you can see. So it is a relation between sorry, it is a relation between 100 AS divided by BD and grade of the concrete. So grade of the concrete here is M20, and we need to calculate this 100 AS divided by BD. So percentage of steel we have calculated as 0.5. So based on this percentage of steel, area of steel we can calculate. So area of steel divided by B into D. B is a breadth of the beam, D is a effective depth of the beam. So after calculating this, we are going to get some value in this vertical line, and similarly M20 grade of concrete they said, so we are going to use this value. Okay, so you can see over here so value of tau C we have got it as 0.48, means 100 AS divided by BD ratio we are getting as 0.48. 0.5 after calculation. So you do you do this calculation individually. Okay, so we have got it as nearly 0.5 value, so I am considering tau c value as 0.48. so here we have considered tau c value as 0.48. so this 0.48 is less than 1.154, that is tau VE, and this tau VE is less than 2.8. so all the conditions are satisfying, so we need to provide longitudinal as well as transverse reinforcement. So these two checks are very important initially. Further, you can see this is a section. So this section I have put purposefully here because to show you which are the reinforcement we are providing. So you can see these are the longitudinal reinforcement, these are the longitudinal reinforcement, these are side face reinforcement, and these are transverse reinforcement, these are rings. Okay. Next, so next is calculation of longitudinal reinforcement. Step number 3, calculation of longitudinal reinforcement. So as we know, longitudinal reinforcement are calculated by using this clause. So longitudinal reinforcement 41.4.2, so which is given like this: equivalent bending moment, that is ME1 is equal to MU plus MT. So MU is bending moment across the section which is given. MT is calculated based on the torsion. Okay, so the calculation is like this: MU plus MT. MU already given, that is 200. You can see in the question itself, MU they had given as 200 kilonewton meter. So MU they have already given. So MU is 200 plus I need to calculate MT. MT is equal to TU divided by 1.7 into 1 plus D divided by B. So TU they have given as 50. 1.7 I am going to keep as it is an empirical, plus capital D. Remember, you have to take capital D over here. You have to take capital D over here. So 700 divided by 400, it is going to give us 80.88 value. So total ME1 is 280.88 kilonewton meter. So according to this, we need to provide the longitudinal reinforcement. So in design of concrete structure 1, you have already seen, if I get a bending moment value, how to calculate the transverse reinforcement. How to calculate transverse reinforcement you have already seen. How to calculate longitudinal reinforcement you have already seen. So rather than calculating all those things, AST values and other things, I can directly go for referring SP16. So in SP16, you can open SP16. I will show you SP16 in next session. That is IS code SP16. From table number 2, if I get the value of MU by BD square corresponding to that percentage of steel, percentage of longitudinal steel, I am going to get directly. So there is no need to calculate AST and all those things singly, doubly, no need to do that. Directly I am going to get percentage of the steel based on this MU by BD square value. So I have got percentage of steel. According to that, AST I have calculated. So AST is 1340.56 mm square according to them. So what we suggest is provide 225 diameter bars and 216 mm diameter bars. So area of 25 mm bars and 16 mm bars in two quantities is 1383 mm square. So it is more than the required one. So this is AST required. So this is given percentage of tension steel is 0.532. So 0.51 was required, 0.53 we have provided, for which so actually while calculating tau c initially we have assumed that 0.5 percentage of tension reinforcement, but here revision occurs and the percentage of reinforcement which we are providing is 0.532. So according to that, tau c we have to calculate. So tau c is calculated by using table number 19. So in place of AS we need to provide the percentage of reinforcement. So according to that, I am going to get it as 0.488. 0.488. I have done interpolation between 0.48 and 0.56 based on this 0.5 and 0.75 value. and we are going to get it as 0.488. Okay, so these are the reinforcement which we have provided, but do we check it for minimum reinforcement? So remember, minimum tensional reinforcement for a beam is 0.85 Fy into 100. So that is equal to 0.25%. So it is much less than the provided. So we have provided the reinforcement more than minimum reinforcement. If the provided reinforcement is less than minimum reinforcement, we have to increase the reinforcement to minimum. But in this case, the provided percentage of reinforcement is much more than minimum reinforcement, so we are not going to revise the percentage of reinforcement. So remember, longitudinal reinforcement we have calculated, that is 2 number of 25 mm dia bars and 2 number of 16 mm dia bars. Further, longitudinal compression reinforcement and longitudinal side face reinforcement is to be calculated. So longitudinal, in this problem, numerical value of mt is equal to, that is equivalent movement, that is this movement is due to torsion. Torsional movement is equal to 80.88, which we have already calculated, which is by using this particular formula. You can see over here. So by using this particular formula, we have already calculated mt previously. So mt is equal to 80.88 is much less than mu. So as per the clause, longitudinal compression reinforcement shall not be required because mt is much less than mu. Now longitudinal side face reinforcement. So according to the clause, longitudinal side face reinforcement is to be provided as a minimum. So minimum requirement of longitudinal reinforcement is 120 mm square. So let us provide two 10 mm dia bars, that is 157 mm square, hence it is okay. So side face reinforcement shall be provided as the depth of beam exceeds 450 mm. Always remember, if depth of beam does not exceed 450 mm, there is no need to provide the longitudinal reinforcement. So if depth of the beam exceeds 450 mm, we need to provide this longitudinal reinforcement, and we have provided two 10 mm dia bars as a longitudinal reinforcement, which are at both the sides. Now transverse reinforcement. So these are, you can see, these are the longitudinal reinforcement. These are the longitudinal side face reinforcements. That is, these are the longitudinal side face reinforcement. These are the longitudinal reinforcement. Now we are going to calculate this transverse reinforcement, means rings. So let us calculate the data which is required first. So d1 is equal to 700 minus 50 minus 50. Again they are doing. So you can see 700 is a total depth. In that, cover and the half of the diameter of the bar should be subtracted. So minus 50 on both the sides we are doing, and 600 mm we are getting. So b1 is equal to 400 minus 2, 25 plus 10 plus 12.5, so 305 mm we are getting. So it is depth breadth wise, you can see total is 400. Cover we have subtracted, half of the dia of the reinforcement here and here we have subtracted, and half of diameter of these two are subtracted. So here half and here half, that is 10 mm. So let us assume that we are going to provide the 10 mm rings. So this transverse reinforcement is to be calculated according to this clause. You can see transverse reinforcement. Area of transverse reinforcement required is calculated by using this formula, where you know what is TU, you know what is SV, and B1 D1 we have already calculated, Fy we have already calculated. So let us see the substitutions. So using numerical values, you can see here. So using numerical values in this particular formula, we are going to get, we are just rearranging it to calculate SV. So after rearranging it, we are going to get 0.87 Fy ASV divided by SV is equal to 339.89 Newton mm. again from this equation this is greater than these values, so it satisfies the condition. So based on that we are going to calculate the value of SV. So SV is equal to 166.77 mm. So SV, we are going to, these are the formulas. So spacing of reinforcement, ESV, initially we are going to calculate, that is area of transverse reinforcement required. SV is spacing of reinforcements, and further after that area of reinforcement required we have calculated, spacing of reinforcement we have calculated. So providing two-legged 10 mm dia stirrups for which x1 is equal to 340 mm, y1 is equal to 628 mm, maximum spacing SV should be least of these three. So provide 340, hence x1 is 340 mm. This is again clause, that is 242.12 mm. Provide two-legged stirrups at 160 mm, center to center we have provided. So you can go through this transverse reinforcement calculation, because I have not explained this in detail, because you have already studied these things previously in design of concrete structure 1. So how to calculate this transverse reinforcement I have explained, which values to be considered. You can go through the minimum spacing clauses to calculate this SV. So SV is minimum of this x1 and this and the obtained. So obtained is minimum, that is 166.77. So we have provided it as 160 mm center to center. So there might be confusion of longitudinal side face reinforcement and in calculation of transverse reinforcement. So we are going to go in depth in next session. So in next session we are going to solve another 1 or 2 problems, and we are going to go in depth how to calculate this longitudinal side face reinforcement, what is the clause, how to consider this transverse reinforcement, what is the clause. We are going to study in depth in next session. So thank you.